Somit ein herzlich willkommen wieder zurück zu eurem Foli von Folis Game House, zu einem neuen Let's Play Ziel. Unser Kapitelspiel Episode 03 Part 1. Das ganze Schema ist ja auch noch die Konferenz, The Ripley's. Ja, der geheime Rat ist der erste Teil, bis hin zur Waldrot. Ja, Verzeihung nochmal im Kapitel in der Episode 2, das dritte Finale. Ich habe es auf jeden Fall korrigiert. Ich habe mich auch zum Schluss nochmal korrigiert, auch im Stream. Weil ich dachte, das geht halt schneller zu Ende. War doch noch eine halbe Stunde draus geworden, um das Rätsel zu lösen, aber wir sind ja dahin, Gott sei Dank dahinter gekommen. Zwar wegen dem Schwert, welcher der griechischen Götter in diesem Irrgarten, in dem griechischen Garten, das Schwert wohl in seiner Brust haben sollte. Aber wir haben es rausgefunden. Wir haben auch noch einiges mehr rausgefunden. Und bedanke mich auf jeden Fall schon mal fürs Liken, fürs Kommentieren, fürs Abonnieren. Jetzt bei diesem oder bei anderen Let's Play von mir. Ihr findet uns natürlich auf Instagram, Facebook, Twitch und YouTube. Unter dem selbigen Namen Folis Game House. Ich bin euer Foli und ich würde mal sagen, wir beginnen mit Episode 3, Part 1. Viel Spaß dabei!
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything, even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Den habe ich noch. Ah. Mal gucken uns, ob das weiterhilft. Ziel. Episode 3, The Ripley's. Der geheime Rat.
Louis? Louis, the conference is about to start any minute. This is not the time to be... Damn it. What's going on?
I don't know exactly, Mr. President. I was looking for my mother and I came upon this body.
My God. You don't think Sarah did it, do you?
Bin wieder da. Ja, grüß dich, Chris. Schön, dass du wieder da bist. Mein Gott. Sarahs Werk ist doch, oder? Mein Gott, ich glaube doch nicht etwa, dass das Sarahs Werk ist. Nein.
No, I don't think so. Why would she have attacked a servant?
If no one saw you, I'd advise you not to get involved, Louis, so that no one will accuse you of the murder.
Essenszeit, klingelt.
The conference is starting. Time is of the essence. Sort this out and join us as quickly as you can in the conference room. Everyone will be expecting you.
Mr. President, this is not really the right time. I didn't come for that.
Your mother's seat cannot remain vacant. You must replace her while she's still missing. Your mother and I were to support Mortimer on this project. I don't know what the subject is, but the future of our countries depends on it. Given the importance of all this to Mortimer, he won't let the conference begin without you. So if you don't want more servants coming looking for you, I'd advise you to join us quickly and to put a brave face on it. The best favor you can do for yourself, Louis, and for Sarah, is to come and support Mortimer's project at the conference.
Don't worry. You can count on me, Mr. President. I shall help you with Mortimer's project as soon as I've finished up here.
Good, Louis. Sarah would be proud of you. I'll stall them while you're on your way, but make haste. I'm going. Don't be long.
Tell them that I'm on my way.
Oh, he's dead. What the hell's been going on here? Let's see what secret's hidden under these masks. His face doesn't ring a bell. I'm a bit disappointed. Might have expected more from Lord Mortimer. Mother, if this is your doing, the situation is getting worse and worse. Someone's made a fire here, and the ashes are still warm. If you're the one who did it, Mother, it couldn't have been easy with only one hand. I must have just missed her. If only I hadn't wasted so much time getting out of Lord Mortimer's study. Leftover food. Ugh, not exactly fresh. An old blanket. From the looks of it, it couldn't have kept her very warm. Leftover food. Ugh, not exactly fresh. Must have been here for a while. Well, the gate is locked.
Das war klar. Wie geht's dir so die ganze Zeit eigentlich vom, ja, der Krise so? Aber glaubst du, dass wir nochmal einen zweiten Lockdown kriegen werden? So. Oh, gucken, nimm mal den Konferenzraum teil. Okay. Hier ist halt nicht viel drüber zu sagen. Naja, war schon doof. Okay. Ich denke kein Lockdown. Immer nur da, wo es ausbricht. Ja, das könnte natürlich auch sein. Könntest du recht haben. So, wir müssen da rüber. Nee. Achso, ich dachte, der hat irgendwas an der Speise. Ich hoffe bloß, dass wir halt eben, ja, die das auch so machen. Ich finde aber auch die Leute, die ja, so unvernünftig sind und ja, wirklich ohne Masken bei mehreren Veranstaltungen, größeren Veranstaltungen keine tragen, finde ich halt eben unverantwortlich. Nicht bloß sie gegenüber, sondern auch
Mr. Dorichet, you are expected at the conference. Please take the door to your left to join the guests.
Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better.
Respect to any other
I have suspected it.
noch nicht.
A pound.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound. Your conjecture is totally wrong. I had some.
Amber crystals.
Amber crystals. Sir.
But with respect to any other, I do not imagine that much has been unfolded.
By all that I have ever read, I'm convinced that it is very common indeed.
No.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
I am astonished, my dear.
I must hope you must remember.
She's not acting by design, is she?
Not as you represent it.
But with respect to any other leading characteristic, I do not imagine that much. Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We're about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly. But what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well. How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Gut. Hatte ich mir schon fast gedacht, dass das so ist.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Gut.
Louis, let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
But why spread it over 2 phases? Why not announce the overall project immediately?
Unfortunately, if Spain were to hear that the intention of all this is to allow the United States to grow, they would never sign. Manuel Godoy is perfectly aware of President Washington's appetite. If the United States took Louisiana, Godoy would know full well that he will have lost the entire North American continent. Things must take place in several stages. Otherwise, the change will be too brutal, and he will have no choice but to reject the project. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Na, dann schauen wir mal, wie die Konferenz verläuft.
My friends, I propose we get started. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur. I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Thank you all. I am honored to be among you today. I will strive to represent the interests of the Order as best I can.
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? But I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Duke, these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They are on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de Richet. That does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
It obviously doesn't stop you from sleeping at night.
Not in the least. Do not imagine I have anything against the American Indians or the blacks. That is not the question. But business is business. It is the natural order of things, Monsieur de Richet. There have always been men who govern other men. That is simply the way it is.
Man, it might as well be the likes of you who rule. Is that right?
But of course.
Come now, my friends. Let us not digress. Anyway, these primitive people have no souls, Louis. We bring the good word to them in order to save them. You'll see. Colonization brings with it many benefits, too.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, Your Eminence, I shall continue. Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
Das ist eine gute Frage. Soll ich nichts sagen? Schutz vor den Engländern oder Schutz vor den Amerikanern? Was tendierst du denn, Chris? Für was würdest du dich entscheiden? Hast du ja jetzt ein bisschen mitbekommen. Vor den Amis. Sollen wir vor den Amis machen? Dann machen wir mal vor den Amis. Oh. Ich Schwierigkeitsstufe 4, Überzeugung Stufe 1. Verdammt, kann ich leider nicht annehmen. Ist noch nicht freigeschalten. Ach, oder? Warte mal. Oh, jetzt.
If I were you, Senor Godoy, I would think twice before stirring up a scandal.
I beg your pardon?
Given the size of your colonies, you won't be able to keep them for long. A number of countries are eyeing them as we speak. The United States would have no trouble taking them. For all intents and purposes, you have no army in place. By wanting to keep everything, you risk losing it all, especially your colonies in South America, which are far more valuable to you.
That is indeed the danger, Duke Manuel. If it comes to war over Louisiana, you will lose. And probably a good deal more than you now imagine.
Young man, you are indeed a dark horse, aren't you?
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Frankreich würde Christen beschützen.
Your Eminence, have no fear over that. I am sure France will do everything in its power to protect the Christians of Louisiana.
My young friend, how can you come out with such a remark after the discussion we had on the evening of your arrival? If France was so respectful of worship, it would not be bleeding priests, as it is doing at this very moment in time. Don't be naive. This is politics. The Holy See must be concerned at seeing such a large territory falling into the hands of the French. Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana.
Also ich habe verstanden, was er gesagt hat.
That worthless expanse of putrid swamps
War zwar wirklich gebrochen Deutsch, aber...
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
As for me, I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
Ich hoffe, ich habe mich jetzt richtig entschieden. Ja, moin Chris. Schon mal auf die Uhr geguckt? Nein, aber alles Scherz beiseite. Hallo, wie geht's dir? Schön, dass du da warst. Hab schon gesehen, du hast schon Takeshi Castle angezockt. Ich denke mal, das wird der nächste Stream, ja.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Ah, sturmfrei, auch nicht schlecht.
What is this I hear about you
Hi Chris, auch nicht schlecht.
I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
Wahrscheinlich streamst du es heute. Habe ich mir schon gedacht, dass du das machst. So, Louis, alleine sind wir in Washington bitte in unserem Plan. Ich verstehe ihn selbst ganz. Die Vereinigten Staaten werden expandieren.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
Ob ich Lust habe, mitzuspielen?
To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
wann wolltest du denn streamen? 21 Uhr. Ah, ich muss wieder früh raus morgen. Ich habe erst Urlaub ab
You need to expand, George.
Freitag.
You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become
Ja, wenn ich genau weiß, dann streame ich dann. Alles klar, okay, dann schreib mir dann nochmal.
Of course, Monsieur Peru.
Ach
That's
so.
why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those
Nee,
weapons.
21 Uhr ist mir leider zu spät.
Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
So. Aber vielleicht schaue ich nochmal vorbei. Versprechen kann ich nichts. Aber vielleicht ja. Ja, ich fahre fort mit Louis. Beschreibe dem Präsidenten meine Vision. Aber natürlich, aber warte mal, dann muss ich mir mal... Schwierigkeitsstufe. Kosten reduzieren um 3 Punkte. Logisches Denken. Überzeugungsstufe. Logisches Denken, Überzeugungsstufe. Kosten reduzieren. Ah, ganz ehrlich.
Mr. President,
Ah,
Lord
grüße
Mortimer
damit.
intends for you to conquer all the North American
Bis
continents.
dann. Ja,
He's
tschüss
relying
Chris.
on you to
Mach's
not
gut.
stop at
Danke, dass du dabei
Louisiana,
warst.
but to continue to push west.
Indeed, it would be dishonest to pretend that this is not my final objective.
But why didn't you tell me before?
Peter und die dicken Treter. Ja, grüß dich Mario. Aber warum habe ich mir das so gesagt? Um den Schein zu wahren.
So that Lord Mortimer would appear to be isolated without support.
Exactly. You got it, Louis.
Lord Mortimer retains the advantage by advancing undercover. And for it to work, he needed you to act surprised.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
One step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Na, bin mal gespannt. Der ist über Nacht noch einmal stirbt wieder.
If you have a minute,
Ah
I
ja,
want to
war ja
ask a
klar.
favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can I be of help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence. So, I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Signor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
Lord Mortimer, you're not telling me everything.
Let's say I wouldn't disapprove if the Right Honourable, though nonetheless choleric, Duke Manuel put you in his bad books. If it could motivate him to declare war on France, it would greatly serve our interests.
War? What do you mean?
I told you before the conference. The more we distract Spain from the Americas, the less it will have an eye on Louisiana.
But all the same, we're talking about a war in Europe.
Don't worry. That's why Mr. Bonaparte is with us. I am convinced we'll be perfectly capable of managing the conflict. And Signor Godoy is not a great soldier. He will not commit Spain to a long war that he won't be capable of managing.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest afterwards. Big day tomorrow.
Sehr geehrte Polizei, schreiben Sie mir noch ein Gemälde und eine Ausstellung stehen. Betrachten Sie, das sind Teile unserer Privatsammlung. Achso, ich glaube, da hat sich ja nichts geändert, oder? Naja.
Aren't you afraid our projects for Italy may be discovered before we... Oh. Please excuse us, Louis, but I need to speak with Lord Mortimer in private.
No. What do you want, Louis?
I'm going to have a word with Duke Manuel, but you know him better than I do, I believe.
Yes. Avoid any marks of respect and protocol pertaining to his rank. He's not fond of courtly manners.
Thank you for the advice, my lord. When are we supposed to vote?
The conference resumes tomorrow morning. That leaves little time for the little favor I spoke to you about.
Indeed. I'll go straight away. I shall be leaving you.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Das habe ich immer noch nicht rausgekriegt, wie das geht. So, versuchen wir mal. Okay, jetzt mal gucken, wo er überhaupt wohnt.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Ach so, das war ja unser mysteriöses Rätsel. Alles klar. Schon verstanden. Ja, dann ist das der falsche Raum. Gehen wir mal zum Godoy. Oh. Ich glaube, der hat einen besseren Flügel gewohnt, ne? Ich meine hier irgendwo.
crew's name tag's fallen off, and his door's ajar.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children and myself will never thank you enough. Long live the Republic. Long live France. Sister Marie-Hélène.
All right. I've retrieved everything. All right. I've retrieved everything.
Meine liebe Eleonore, ich schreibe dir, um dich an meiner ruhigen Gedanken teilhaben zu lassen. Ich kann nicht in Worte fassen, wie sehr ich dich vermisse und wie sehr ich dich bereue, nicht bei mir zu sein. Aber doch, ich weiß, dass du tugendhaft, tapfer und sicher bei deiner Schwester Marie-Hélène bist. Meine Fehler werden ich nie wieder gut machen können, aber ich weiß, wie ich dich vor der Konsequenz meiner Taten schützen kann. Egal was geschehen mag, zweifle niemals an meiner Liebe und Hingabe für dich. Du musst mir glauben, ab jetzt alles besser. Ich werde dich beschützen. Ganz gleich, welcher Preis ich dafür zahlen muss. Bleib du stets nur ruhig und gelassen. In ewiger Liebe, stets stolz. Zur Vater. Also kann ja dann durchgehen.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
I've searched all over the manor, but I can't find him.
One thing's for sure, Monsieur de Richet. He's neither in his room nor on this floor. I've just looked all over.
I propose we both look for him. The first to find him tells the Duke that the other is also looking for him. Agreed?
Perfect. Let's do that. I shall have a look in the library. If you find the Duke before me, tell him I want to speak to him.
Yes. Let's proceed as you say.
Thank you, Monsieur de Richet.
Right. Now be a good boy and go look somewhere else. Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke. Hey, it looks like someone slipped something in the back here. It's a letter. Let's see what it says. It reeks of perfume, and it's written in Spanish. Godoy, you really are a little devil.
Sprache fehlt mir wieder, okay. Kann nicht alles haben. Na gut. War das jetzt der Brief hier? Geehrter Herzog, ich möchte Ihnen Informationen mitteilen, die unseren Geheimdienst gesammelt hat. Wir können bestätigen, dass Herr Hey tatsächlich an seiner Vereinbarung mit England arbeitet. Das Ziel scheint daran zu bestehen, die französische Wirtschaft und heimlich auch die spanische zu schwächen, indem sie unsere Seehandelsrouten blockieren. Unsere Wirtschaft leidet bereits stark unter den Embargo auf französische Lebensmittel, und solche Vereinbarung würde den Untergang für unsere Kolonien bedeuten. Ganz ohne Zweifel werden sie zügig eine diplomatische Lösung finden. Ich erwarte weitere Anweisungen. Na dann. So, was haben wir hier?
Manuel Godoy. A painting of himself in his room. Now that's not going to help him develop a sense of modesty.
Okay, gesprungen ist er scheinbar nicht. So.
The Kiss of Judas, painted by Caravaggio. This is how Judas pointed out Christ to the Roman soldiers. Can you imagine a worse betrayal? Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Don Quixote.
Also.
Talking without thinking
Don Quixote.
is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one. A devil's thorn, to be used during Charles IV of Spain. Now there's no chance of Godoy forgetting who he owes everything to. Amber.
Okay, von den Büchern scheint nichts Wichtiges drin zu sein.
Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man.
Das hatten wir bereits, das hatten wir auch, das auch. Ich glaube, wir sind hier durch.
That's me.
Wo wird denn dieser schöne Monarch sein?
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Achso, da waren wir gerade drin, ne? Der ist nicht hier. Bestimmt irgendwo einen Schlummertrunk machen. So, jetzt sind wir auf jeden Fall mal unten.
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service, day and night, sir.
Have you seen Duke Manuel?
The Duke is in the dining room, sir.
I would like to come in.
I am sorry, sir, but that is not possible for the moment.
I'm looking for someone. Tell me at least who's in there so I don't needlessly go looking around for hours.
Duchess Hillsborough is speaking with Sir Gregory, sir. The other guests have gone back to their rooms through the other side.
Why do you ask?
Sir Gregory's orders, sir.
Can you tell me where I can find Duke Manuel, please?
Alas, I do not know, sir. I can only assure you he is not in the small salon.
Very well. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
I would like to come in.
I am sorry, sir, but that is not possible for the moment.
Very well. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Vielleicht gibt es einen zweiten Gang dahin.
Duke Manuel?
Well, well. Monsieur de Richet, I was not expecting you. I am not in the mood, sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Peru has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed, I was warned. I knew what to expect. For God's sake, why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might, well, turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries, just waiting for the word to pounce. Really, I do not see why you choose Mortimer.
The Golden Order, my friend. The Order is everywhere. We come from France, we're President of the United States, England, and many other countries. We have ambitions and the means to carry them out. You'll see, once all hell breaks out and your English support starts to fade away. The Order is an international organization. It matters little what governments do. Otherwise, why would Mortimer have gone to the trouble of inviting my mother?
If you are right, Sir Gregory has got it all wrong. Tell
Puh,
me,
Glück gehabt
do
bis
you
jetzt.
really believe Spain has any interest in ceding Louisiana to France?
First of all, the question is to know what Louisiana can be used for. We agree that today, all it brings you is death. Every day, a few more Spaniards die far from their birthplace.
I cannot deny that Louisiana is a veritable quagmire. You have a point there. Tell me one last thing. What would I gain from all this?
Voldemort wäre dankbar? Ich glaube, das wäre... Schwierige Entscheidung.
I'm sure that Lord Mortimer will be very appreciative. He's always supported those who have given him help, and you know well that he has every means to do so.
That at least is true.
Come on, you fool, give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Monsieur, I am astounded. I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you can count on my vote when the time comes. However, I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke. You can count on me. Lord Mortimer will be delighted to hear the news.
I hope you know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke.
See you tomorrow. Well,
Jawohl, Konversation erfolgreich.
All we left to do is wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning. Petrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Ich dachte, die hätte was aufgeblinkt, aber okay. Dann war es scheinbar wirklich nur die glänzende Mobel. Geh ins Bett. Nein, ich will noch nicht. Ja, mach mal. Auf den schnellsten Wege. It's locked. Macht aber nichts. Was ist das Frische? Nee, ist auch nicht mein Zimmer. Mysteriös, mysteriös. Ja, das war das Satanszimmer, ne? Stimmt.
President George Washington.
Oh, ich will mich gerade an Washington ein bisschen rankuscheln.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
Ja, also jetzt nochmal auch als Tipp. Es ist immer nützlich versuchen, so viel wie möglich Briefe, Zettel, irgendwelche Bücher zu finden, Seiten oder von Büchern zu finden, um mehr auch von dieser jeweiligen Gesellschaft oder Feingesellschaft, die wir da haben, rauszufinden. Umso schneller und so einfacher lassen sich entweder manipulieren oder wissen, wie sie ticken. auf was wir eingehen müssen, dass wir sie auf unsere Seite ziehen können, beziehungsweise wo wir sie hinterfragen können, wo wir sie vielleicht in die Ecke drängen können, was, wie, was. So ungefähr. Also, nur mal als Tipp. Deswegen, gut, wenn es geht, noch irgendwie hier und da mal noch ein bisschen durchstöbern. So. Bin vollkommen in die falsche Richtung gelaufen, aber macht er nicht.
Monsieur Johann van Wulner.
The Great Work of the Soul by S. Madone. Pure alchemy is a thought, an art that is performed on the matter of the soul. Great alchemists work to transform and perfect the latter by a series of processes known as the Great Work. There are 4 phases to attain the ultimate in spiritual fulfillment. The human soul must descend, be corrupt, in order to become decomposed. It's something like what I felt when I think of what I found out about my mother.
So, guck mal, Leukos.
The soul broken up must be purified by the alchemist. Nice program. The soul must be transformed in order to attain sublimation by the recombination of the alchemist. It's tempting. Thus ends the great work, the incarnation of the purified spirit, the elevation of the soul now become perfect, its resurrection, thanks to the action of the alchemist. Except if the alchemist has bad intentions, then it's called manipulation. Very metaphorical as occult theories go, the human spirit being the prima materia of the alchemist.
Halt. Lieber Johann, es freut mich sehr, dass du kommen wollte, dass sie kommen wolle. Ich habe nicht eine Sekunde daran gezweifelt, dass sie die Einladung annehmen würden. Trotz Risiken tatsächlich nur, dass sie gut erkennen, auch wenn wir gemeinsam viele Hindernisse überwunden haben, kann ich diesmal meine Besorgnis nicht verhehlen. Verhellen? Sehr altsprachig. Ja. Angesichts dessen, alles was auf dem Spiel steht. Es ist von unterschätzbarem Wert, Sie hier zu wissen, Johann. Machen Sie nun weiter so. Ich werde stolzer und erfreuter als je zuvor sein. Ich freue mich darauf, Sie zu sehen. Gregory? George, hey. Hat etwa was mit dem Washington zu tun?
The alchemist is an old man.
Ja, die hatte ich schon mal geknackt.
A table of alchemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol.
fragment of amber.
The signs of obscurantism.
Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte.
Okay, das hat man schon gelesen gehabt.
It's a beautiful weapon. Lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Wow.
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us soon. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte. Das ist Cersei.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Die mal keinen nächtlichen Besuch, okay.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Ach, da waren wir doch schon. Ja, okay, alles klar. Richtung, was wir. Doch die Richtung, okay.
Huh, that's me.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here. What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
That's not what I said.
Ah, by the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why's that?
Well, you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind, although you would have everything to gain by it.
There's no point trying to persuade me. Don't hold it against me.
Of course not, silly. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course, Emily.
Admit, though, that it does make you think. There's still time, you know. Join us before it's too late.
Unfortunately, my word is my bond. I don't want to leave Lord Mortimer in the lurch.
Very well, as you wish. It's up to you to decide.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
Well, I should imagine you're still shaken. I promise to shed light on my mother's circumstances as soon as possible.
There's not much to shed light on. What your mother did is inexcusable. She won the trust of my sister in order to more easily betray her. She didn't do anything to her. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Na, was denn da los?
Come, Louis.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him.
He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough. Why isn't she here?
She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her.
What are we going to do about Washington?
He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king.
Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing. To keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim.
He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Okay. Ich traue diesem Lockenkopf nicht, überhaupt nicht. Da war man schon von Anfang an unsympathisch. Schon seit der ersten Episode.
Emily? Emily? Are you there?
Sir, the conference is about to begin. You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me reassure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
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 And you, Luke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more complicated and it...
Goodbye. Calm, Gregory. Don't try to impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest. You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
Well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my attention, I declare war on France.
What? What is he doing?
If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
For, of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My lord do this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, really?
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques.
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jack, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Wait!
De Richet, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man!
Monsieur, I know I don't really know you, but you seem like a decent person.
I have done so many horrible things!
You blame yourself, I can see that. Everything's not lost.
I don't want to do bad things anymore.
You can take control of yourself again. You can fix whatever it is you've done.
Do you really believe that?
Of course, Jacques. You'll have all the time you need. I'm sure we can work things out.
But you don't know him.
Let's stay united, Jack. He's nothing without us.
Really?
Trust me. Calm down now, Jack. It's over.
You have no idea what you just put me through.
It would be nice if we could all settle down a bit. And let us thank Louis for his intervention. It was very courageous of him. Monsieur Peru, you could have seriously hurt someone if Monsieur de Richet here hadn't stopped you. Your behavior is unacceptable. You would do better to go and rest in your apartment. My friends, we shall continue the conference later. I would like to apologize for the inexcusable behavior of my guest. We all need to recover from all of this excitement. Take the rest of the day off.
Hätte ich jetzt nicht erwartet. Ich habe natürlich meinen Weg eingegangen, den linken Weg. Ich habe mich für Lord und unserer Seite entschieden, habe an der Konferenz teilgenommen und Manuel Godoy überzeugen können. Also komplett die linke Seite. Alternative Wege wären natürlich gewesen, ich hätte Lady Hillsbury überzeugen lassen können, die Seite zu wechseln. Hatte so Gregory Holm folgen können. Ich hätte Jacqueline Burroughs Geheimnisse lüften können. Ich hatte Geheimnisse von Näher von einem Part lüften können. Also das wären noch so diese offenen Dinge gewesen. So, habe mich jetzt für den Weg entschieden. Wie gesagt, vielleicht streame ich nochmal in einer anderen Richtung, aber ja, das ist jetzt mein Weg gewesen. Das war es auf jeden Fall von Let's Play hier bei Folies Gamerhaus von Conceal. Episode 3, Part 1. Der geheime Rat, die Konferenz, also The Ripless. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Let's Play wieder. Ich hoffe, ihr seid wieder mit dabei und vielen Dank schon mal für ein Like, vielleicht sogar für ein Abo und dann würde ich sagen, bis dahin, macht's gut. Tschüss, bis dann. So, haben wir bei Sprachen noch was rein. Eins noch bei Politik und... Okay. So, das war's. Jetzt bin ich wirklich raus. Ciao.